Hi, I'm Randy Patterson, and this is Psychology Salon, a channel looking at various issues from a psychological perspective. Consider clicking the subscribe button below. This video is part of a series on assertive communication to mark the publication of the second edition of the Assertiveness Workbook. In the third chapter of this book, I give 10 principles to guide people's work. And I've already covered the first of these in another video. It's the key point of all assertive communication, so you should really know it. Assertiveness is about controlling your own behavior, not other people's behavior. It's about looking at your own steps in the dance and changing those, even if you think that the other person is really the villain in the relationship. So long as you are focused on them, the problem is locked and it isn't likely to change. Today, I'm going to talk about another of these principles, and it's one that I think will surprise a lot of people when they read it in the book. Assertiveness is about effectiveness, not self-expression. I'm imagining people going, wait, what? Because when we talk about communication in modern culture, we're almost always talking about expressing ourselves. We have something inside and we want to get it outside. We want to express our true nature. We want to share our uniqueness. We want to blow off steam. We want to relieve the pressure. That's what communication is all about, isn't it? And what this point is saying is no, it isn't. Think of yourself standing with a high wind at your back, and up ahead of you is a great-looking meal on the barbecue. The wind is pushing you forward from behind, and the barbecue is luring you forward to a goal that you might have. I want to eat that. So there's push and there's pull. The push in communication is the desire to get something out. So maybe I'm feeling really irritated and I want to relieve the pressure and get it out. So maybe I yell and scream and insult the person that I'm angry at. And there's a split second where I actually feel better because I'm doing what my impulses tell me to do. I'm giving in to temptation, which always feels good for a bit until the bill comes due. So what happens next? Well, usually if you rant with anger, you get anger back. The other person doesn't quite get what you're saying, or doesn't agree, or feels insulted, and they rant back at you, and the two of you get into this escalating exchange of hostility that seldom solves any problem. The pull in communication is the goal that you are working toward. What do you really want to happen? You want a loving marriage, or you want to be respected, or you want your boss to stop giving you complicated work tasks on Friday afternoon just before the weekend. Great. Just expressing your impulses is not going to solve any of those problems. You have to do something a lot less sexy. You have to ask yourself what you actually want to happen and what will get you there. You want to be truthful, but it's about more than just turning on the fire hose of what you're feeling. You have to think about how to communicate, where the other person is coming from, how they will respond to different ways of approaching the problem. You want your words to have an effect. And simple self-expression, taking the leash off your impulses and letting it all flow out, is not going to get you that effect. Yelling at your boss or your kid or your spouse or your best friend is not going to help. The concept is obvious when we're talking about the anger you feel. But what about the fear? Sometimes if you express yourself, you'll be saying, oh, I'm really afraid and I don't feel like I deserve what I really want and I don't think you'll give it to me anyway. It's honest, but it's not likely to be effective. If you ask your boss for a raise, but make it very clear by your posture and your voice and your wording that you don't really expect to get it, you probably won't. It's not about expressing what you're feeling. It's about what you want to happen and how to choose your response to make that more likely. And you already do this. You have the impulse to ask your friend to borrow their car. In English, that's your home language, and you're most comfortable in English. But your friend only speaks Spanish. So what do? You speak Spanish. You shift your response with the other person in mind. You focus on what you actually hope to happen, and you choose the route to get there. You don't say, "Oh, I'd like to get downtown, and right now I'm totally feeling the impulse to drive westward. Just look at that sunset. Downtown is east. You want to go downtown? Drive east." This doesn't mean that you can't ever express yourself. I'm all in favor of sharing your feelings, your hopes, your fears, your frustrations, and there are ways to do that with clarity and calmness and openness. And it can be assertive too. But when we're talking about assertiveness, we tend to be communicating for reasons that aren't just about acting out how we feel in the moment. We have some kind of effect in mind. We want to do something. It's not just the wind of feeling that's blowing at our back. It's about the goals up ahead that we hope to achieve. Both are real, both are honest, both are true. But sometimes we have to choose. Do I burst into tears and scream in frustration at getting reports on my desk on Friday afternoon? Or do I want to stop that from happening? If there's a goal, then we need to look at the map and figure out how to get there. And the map is assertiveness. Thanks for watching. And remember, the Assertiveness Workbook, 2nd edition, is available from all major booksellers, online and brick and mortar. And if you're a clinician, I have training programs to help you learn how to use assertiveness training in your own work with clients. Check out randypatterson.com, 1T in Patterson, for information and updates. You can also find courses on various topics at psychologysalon.teachable.com.